So let's get started with SpaceCorp in the Mariners era. And first thing, start with the first player. Now he only has a couple of cards in his hands, and it's kind of a tough decision. So there's things I could do. I could move out of Earth gravity. It would cost me 2, plus the takeoff 3, 4 to get to Luna, okay? Or one of these lunar points. I can make that by playing my chemical drive and the time card. That's a big expense, throwing my time card just to get to one exploration. I don't think it's worth it. So by having such a weak hand, I'm going to do a research action to allow me to grab a couple of pieces. Now, what do I want to grab? That's a good question. I probably am going to want one of these, and they're very unlikely to be gotten any other way. So I'm going to pick one of these up, but I'm also going to grab from the top of the deck, probably going to get a cargo pod, yeah. And that's it. Now we take a quick look down the rest of the things, and nothing else is really available to me. The only thing that is this gets replenished, and I'm still at 4 cards or less. That was an important factor here, so I get another card, and I can take a quick look at it, make sure it's not something that I can take an action with. We see something similar with the second player. They have essentially the same hand. I don't see any reason for them to act differently. So again, they're going to take a research action, build up their hand. What do they want to grab? Well, again, the science modules are kind of rare, and let's see what we get. Okay, so we got a new card. This is not one of the starting cards, and this was kind of cool. And this is one reason the first player may not want to draw from the top of the deck. This one gives me a double build, which is kind of cool. And now, once again, this is upgraded, and that means there's a good card, a good new card available there, and I get my card for the end of the turn, and again, I check to make sure it's not something special. Now, the third player has an extra card. The fourth player has an extra card and an extra victory point. This may mean that I get the jump on what I do. So I only have 3 move. Again, that's not enough to do anything. I'm tempted to do that the research task and grab 2 more cards, but that would put me to 5 cards. Not a good move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my chemical drive as infrastructure. That gives me a base movement of 2 now instead of 1. And other people can use that and maybe give me cards. So that's cool. And now, at the end of that turn, I'm below 4 cards, so I get a card. A much better infrastructure upgrade. That's the problem with these advantages for going, late. You have too many cards, so you can't do that easy research action. And now we take a look here. And likewise, I like the situation in terms of, that upgrade for infrastructure. I'm not sure there's any other action I really, really want to do. Most of these are just not really useful to me. So again, I think the best thing I can do is drop that infrastructure in there and grab a card. And I get a time card. That's a very helpful thing. I don't know if you can play 2 time cards in one turn. I doubt it. But the way it's worded, I don't know. I would have to look that up. It seems like a particularly painful thing to use that resource on, but whatever. Okay, we've made it around once. Now maybe it's time that we can actually do things. All right. So I've only got 3 movement. That's not enough to get me, again, to where I want to go. I'm in a similar place to where I was. So I do what everybody else is fucking doing. I upgrade my infrastructure. And it means that nobody's going to be sharing infrastructure, and I get a draw, and that's going to be helpful. Having a build card there. For yellow, I may have a better situation. He had a better card. Now, he still only got 3 movement. Upgrading the infrastructure. I got this upgrade to infrastructure. That's interesting. That gets me a move or build infrastructure. I'm going to do that instead. And again, and now we got to move 2 that we could upgrade to infrastructure. Oh, I hope I didn't just cheat. No, I didn't. You got to keep yourself at 4 cards to get that free draw, and that's kind of the tricky part. Let's take a look at this guy. So he has plenty of movement, one of which he could throw into infrastructure and really, shoot his movement up. On the other hand, he could actually get somewhere. How far could he get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could get out to a Lagrange point. Now, at this point, you want to kind of start looking at some of these. First production action is worth some points. 3 Lagrange bases is worth $3. Non-Lagrange bases. First base on Mars is worth a lot. Genetics increase. Cards in 3 of the infrastructure slots. Well, everybody's got 1 right now, basically. And bases in 4 different regions. Getting those victory points, even this early, is of some value. I mean, collecting up your cash is worth something. A research action, maybe not so good, because again, that throws me over that 4-card limit and just over it. So I lose, some of the benefit of it, even though there's a nice card there. So what do I want to do? I think I upgrade my infrastructure. I got the wrong person. We're on purple here. I think, yeah, so let me look, see what I have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've got an Explorer in hand. I've got this really good infrastructure. I could get somewhere and maybe start doing things right away. So what if I did a move 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. I could land on Luna or a Lagrange point. Luna is more likely to get me first produce action. Although I don't have a produce card, there are some in there. And the Lagrange bases is worth $3 and they're fairly easy to get to. On the other hand, I could put so much movement out that people are giving me cards. So I don't know which way to go. And unfortunately, I don't have a die here. I'm going to go grab me a die. There aren't any dice down here at all, except I was lucky look at my mess. My Bull Run game that I really questioned why I bought that at all had an old die in it. So I'll use that for my decision maker. So odd, I'm going to increase infrastructure. Even, I'm going to go grab me a location. I don't know which location, but even we're going to go for the location. Okay. I want to keep the Explorer card because I need that for Luna. Maybe. I'm going to play a move 3. Oh, jeez. I already have 2 movement, though. 5, 2, 3. I could go out to a further Lagrange point. The problem is these Lagrange points are easy to get to, so you kind of want to go to them. But yeah, let's get the jump out here. We'll try to build a spaceport out there. So what we do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We land out here. Okay. We haven't done anything too exciting to anyone. So our card gets discarded. I'm just going to put discards there because you kind of have to sort them out at the end of each deck. In this case, everything goes in the same deck, but it also differentiates by whether it's a starting or a start card or a non-start card, which is over in the corner there. And I get a card. Okay. Finally to purple. And this is kind of nice because it gets me close to Mars and everything like that. Okay, I have not looked up that question on the time cards. Let me look that up. For sanity's sake, the rules actually do prevent you from playing 2 of these. It would be weird if you could play more. I've only got 3 movement. That can't get me anywhere unless I play the time card. 6 movement, we already determined, can't get me to Mars. I'm in a shitty position, to tell you the truth. What does 4 movement give me? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 movement allows me to land on Luna. I'm going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play my time card. I'll put that separate because those definitely have to go in a different place. And we'll fly off 1, 2, 3, 4 to Luna. That gets me down to a number of cards that I can do research, except, oh, look, I draw another card. And that's kind of the thing. The research task, I kind of wanted to do it again, but card limit wasn't good. Okay. So this guy pretty much cannot do research. Not that he has too many cards to do it, but he wants to expend cards. So what are we looking at for my capabilities? I have a lot of build capabilities, one of which I could throw in infrastructure. I don't know, a build one. Build doesn't come around as much as some other things. I have a produce. That's appealing. I would like to not play that. And I have a total movement of 3. Now, here's the problem. I have that produce. I'd like to get someplace I could go to produce stuff. Conceivably, Halley's Comet or Sisyphus gives me some produce capability, possibly. So what if I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would cost me 6. That would cost me a shitload of stuff. These cards, that's my Explore card, man. But there's nothing to explore that's closer. So yeah, I think we're going to run out to Halley's Comet. Or Sisyphus. They're equivalent locations, but Halley's Comet looks prettier. It's closer to me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Anybody got better movement than I do? I knew that move 3 was out there. No, I'm as good as it gets. Okay. So yeah, 6 out to here. And that's going to cost me my infrastructure card that I have to use. These 2 start cards. Which I'll put over there. They're start cards. This one's not a start card. And my time card. All that to get out there. And then I get one of these. And that's an interesting choice to do as an upgrade next time. Okay. On to yellow, who has not left the planet yet. Okay. I could infrastructure, get that nice big infrastructure card in play. That is really appealing in terms of building stuff up. Otherwise, my movement choices aren't very good, so I am indeed going to drop yet another good infrastructure into play. I'm 4 or less cards, so I draw 1. Puts me over here. Okay. This is green. Green is sitting at a Lagrange point, which requires a build 2. I could do that. Not sure I want to. I have a 3 movement point. That doesn't get me anywhere. I am going to do an infrastructure. And I grab this. On to purple, who's at Luna. Now, I do not have any exploration capabilities at Luna. I could use someone else's, though. There are people who have exploration out here. Do I want to give them that bonus? Why not? Well, because it helps them. But yeah, I mean, I can take an action and still get a card. Research card would put me so I don't get a bonus. I don't have any infrastructure to play. So yeah, I am going to explore this, and I will use his headquarters to do that. Okay. So to explore that, wait, no, Luna. It's an Explore 1. I flip that over. Okay, I found abundant ores. It's got a p-value, which means it can produce, and bases are cheaper to build here by 2. Interesting. Okay. Following the rest of the sequence of play, I don't think I get a contract, but opponents get rewards. So he gets a reward here, and again, I'm just checking to see that there's not one of those edge cards that you can play at any time. And I'm at the end of my turn. I also get one of these. Now, my cube being there means that if somehow I don't get around to building this, someone else has to give me a couple of victory points if they want to build there. So that's, you know, I don't want to leave there until I build the base, obviously. All right. And you can see it's very, very fast play, especially at the beginning. The decisions aren't that hard usually. The calculations aren't that hard. They get worse as you go on, though. Okay. Let's take a quick look at what blue is up to. Blue would really love to explore. We can't. There is movement out there for other people. I am going to upgrade my infrastructure, however. I think mainly because, again, if I take 2 cards with a research operation, I probably don't get well, I won't get my extra draw. So I'm only kind of gaining 1 draw by taking that action. By putting this here, yeah, I'm only spending 1 card. Okay, so this is interesting. So this is a special card. I could go discover something else. That's really neat. That has to be done as my turn, though. So I could do something like explore Mars, one of the spaces in Mars, and get the big exploration tile and get a bonus from that. Potentially. There might not be a bonus on it. There was not on this Abundant Ores. Okay. Yellow still hasn't left the planet. They have a lot of movement, I hope. 3, 4, 5, 6. But I could get a lot more if I go out here. I could go up to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see if we can make Mars. I think that's what we're going to want to jump to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm 1 short of making it to Mars by using his movement. But I have a time card. So let's see what we can do here. 3, it's almost as good. 4, 5, 6, 7. I could go up to 14. I can make it to Mars. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 I have to come up with, which means I need to come up with 5 and my time card. 2, I got to spend this good card, unfortunately. 3, 4, and for 5, a 1 point infrastructure is not very useful. So I make it all the way out there. I could have spent less resources and given a card to someone. I don't like to give people cards when I can help it. And now we're on Mars and can do cool shit. In addition, we get a card. And yeah, I'm wearing fucking shoes now, and popping the bubble wrap in shoes is a waste. Okay. Because the shoes give me some padding. All right, on to green. He would like to build that Lagrange point if he can. He has a build 1, a build 2. Yeah, that's not there. And that allows him to do it. It may not be what I really want to do, but it's my opportunity right now. So we'll drop this here. And what we want to build here is almost definitely going to be a spaceport. Most other things don't really work here. So for example, I can't do these. I'm just working my way down. I can't build any of these. I could build a research. That would give me, what? A card from the offers and... No, a card from the offers. Which isn't very helpful. I think. Let me check that. Maybe I'm reading it wrong. Maybe I could get some tech. Yeah, it's a draw. It's later on that I'm allowed to do the other stuff. And And then secure isn't available in the first round, in the first era, to tell you the truth. Shield factory isn't useful, and you got they're actually not available. So spaceport is the only thing I can do. It gives me a Lagrange point. It gives me the ability to do team transport, and it gives other people that ability too, but that's okay. So I got a base out here. How did I get that? I had to spend a build. Oh, I threw it out there. Yeah, okay. Let's make sure we have not reached any of these. Of course not. I'm checking the infrastructure one. It's sometimes hard for me to remember these, and that there are a lot of little pieces you have to keep in your memory, which is one of the difficulties I have in this game. And here's another explore something for free card. Okay. What is purple up to? Well, purple could start getting towards production. The build cost here is actually 0. Build cost of 2. Building a base is -2. All right. I would like to get the first production action. I think I'm well on my way to it. So let's aim for that. So in order to get production, I am going to need, I can't play the exploiter, that's not available yet. I'm going to need to play industrial or refinery, basically. Industrial doubles my build value when building other things in that region. Well, that doesn't help. So the refinery, and I could build something else here, but the refinery is going to increase the p-value, so I get a victory point off my production here at these ores. It only has a production of 0, but if I do that build 2, which costs me no cards whatsoever, neat, I build a refinery here. And I'm set up for production. I get a card for the next turn. Okay, we got an edge card here. At the beginning of my next turn, I could take 2 turns in a row. Or I have this move 3 kicking around. That's kind of useful. This is one that I only use in my own turn, so I don't really have to keep that face up. All right. Let's kick over to blue. Okay. Blue's got this interesting choice, right? They could race. Oh, yeah, we haven't gotten production. They could start building stuff up here, but we don't have any explore cards. I am going to take this just as is and go explore. Do I want to explore South Mars? He wouldn't get a claim. I wouldn't get a claim to it, which means that would just help the yellow player. But if I explore North Mars, he's got to walk a little further. I think I'm going to do that to get whatever advantages I might get out of it. That gets me an Explore 2. And I get a victory point off of it because water was found there. Is that a great turn? No, not really. But I'm worried that he'll start exploring stuff. Okay. Now, green. Now, green has all this explore and build capability on their infrastructure, and they're not actually using it. And actually, he could have paid green, so he could do an exploration. But what is green going to do? Green has 3-4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not very good. I'm sorry, he's not green. He's yellow. Yellow's over on Mars. I don't know why I'm having trouble discerning who I'm playing. Yellow's on Mars. He could walk over here and build a base there, but that's an expensive walk. I would rather not do that. I would rather do an Explorer if I can. I have an Explorer too. I don't have to play any cards to do that, so we'll do it. And we pull exomicrobes. That has production. It also gets me $2 for making the discovery. And I will be almost certainly building the first base on Mars. Somebody would have to really screw me over to get in there. So we'll draw a card. And you can see, not relying on other people's infrastructure very much. That's a tendency of mine, but I generally like to say, can I do something on my own before, can I pay somebody to do something? But if I can pay somebody to do something and it's really, really valuable, I should be paying more attention to that. Okay, what do we got over here? Green has the discovery card. Now green got screwed out of this because blue took theirs. I could go explore something else. It's possible I want to. Might be the best I can do. What are my other options? Well, if I can get to North Mars, I'm in a position where I can build it before other people do. I wouldn't have claim to it, but I'd probably be there. So let's see if I can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to Mars because it has a gravity. Did I count the gravity in last time? I don't know. I may have screwed up by a point there. I can certainly get there. But can I get there without giving a bonus? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't look like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What if I pay someone? I have 2 movement. The only person I can pay is him. That would give me 5 movement. And what were we talking about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would have to pay 1 more movement. I can't use my own infrastructure for that. I could use this, and I would have enough exploration for... Oh, I don't need exploration. I need build. Jeez. It's an expensive build, too. Wow. So maybe getting to Mars isn't that important. Maybe it would be better for me to sail off to Deimos or something like that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an expensive build, too. 5. How do I get there with 5? 2, 3, 4, 5. That would use up cards that I kind of don't know I want to use. Maybe I just want to explore first. Yeah, let's just explore. We're going to use our special card to explore instead, and we'll explore Deimos. Why not? Okay, we find water on Deimos. We get a victory point. This is green got the victory point on this one. Okay. And that is our entire turn, actually. No, it's not our entire turn. Because we have a base. We can do something. We can do a team transport. So we'll ship another team out here. It's a better place to be than back on Earth. And then we get our card for the end of the turn. Play at the beginning of your turn, get 1 T, and then take all start cards from the offers. Okay, right now there are 3 start cards in the offers. This is really an appealing card. I want to leave that face up just to kind of remember. But this guy has a special card in his hand too. Which is take 2 turns in a row. I probably want to do that. That's a pretty good card. A move 3 is decent and all, but yeah. Okay, so I am going to be taking 2 turns in a row. I'll put that there to remind me. The first turn, do I want to do my production on the first turn? Shoo. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so I will play a production card and produce here. Now it has a base production of 0, but the refinery gives it a +1. Yeah, you got to kind of remember stuff like that. So I get a victory point off that. I've also done the first production action. That gets me 2 more victory points for the fame and all that. And now it's my second turn. And we'll put this out here. Oh, I get a card because I get to play my entire turn. And now, where do I want to go next? Well, if I could get 2 more non-Lagrange bases, that would be awesome. But not trivial. There aren't that many. Bases in 4 regions. We might be able to manage that. Okay. So I think we want to move somewhere. We have 2 movement. We have this card. We could pay someone for more movement if we don't want to use up cards. That's always an option. So coming out of here would cost me 1, 2, 3, 4 movement. That would cost me all my cards to do. Or I could give someone a card to gain some ground. Or I could upgrade my infrastructure. Let's upgrade infrastructure, because I like to do that. Yeah, that's a pretty good card. Ooh. Okay, so I could do a 4-point research very shortly, or I could increase my genetics by 1, and that's worth victory points if you can get your genetics up on this era. All right, I think I'm going to move the die here and pause for a bit. Okay, so we're back on blue here. A lot of movement capability. I would like to explore. I have an explore card. I don't know that I want to turn it into infrastructure. Doesn't look like there's a lot of exploration to go on. Other opportunity would be if I did a big move. I have 5 movement. Well, that's not enough to get me to Mars from there. It's enough to get me from Halley's Comet, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, not quite, but I could get to Deimos. But I would rather do the explore action, so that's just what I'm going to do. And I draw a chit. And exotic elements. That's going to give me a victory point. And it's got a production level. And I get my card for the end of the turn. You can see, I mean, each action is a very Euro design. Each thing you do, it's one sort of discrete, simple decision, then you pass the turn to the next player. Yes, there's a long sequence of things that are triggered by it, but, you know, it's not, I was going to say it's not like High Frontier, but honestly, High Frontier is similar in terms of being Euro. It's just much, much more detailed. Let's take a look at yellow. Okay, so I think the important thing for me is to get that build done if I can. I have a lot of build capability here. This edge card is prevent other people from taking actions. I don't like that so much. It might be okay in some key situations, but for the most part it's, I can screw everybody else out of something, you know, right after my turn and prevent any of them from doing something that I really need them to do. Sometimes it gives you the leverage to get a build or something that you wouldn't otherwise get. So yeah, let's take a look. My build what I'm saying is I'm willing to spend this big card if need be. I have some build capability. 5 is the most I get without using this, so we'll have to use this. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to keep the produce card because it doesn't look like exploration is really necessary to me. And now I build. Now here's where things get interesting. So a biolab would give me a free genetics. On the other hand, an industrial site gets me to be able to build here more quickly. That's a interesting call because I am probably going to get to build this base as well, and maybe even something else out here. Oh, did we get the... Yeah, we'll be getting that. Then, of course, there's other options like the refinery, which could increase my capability of turning that production into victory points. all hard calls. I don't know which one to take. So I think I'm going to ignore the refinery. Although there's no production here, and I would be getting an extra victory point off that production right away. I think given the nature of things, yeah, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. On a 1, I will build a refinery, which increases the production value. On a 2 or 3, I'll build the industrial, and otherwise I will build the biolab. Okay, so we're going to build the biolab, and that gets us a genetic movement. Remember, there's victory points, that there's other advantages to getting that up there quickly. We built the first base on Mars. That gets us 3 victory points. This is yellow. Hey, we're winning. And what the fuck? I played my cards, I guess. I draw another card. I did not use anybody else's capabilities. Okay. Now we come here. Play at the beginning of your turn. I want to do this. This is an edge card. It doesn't cost me my action. I am going to gain 1T for green. And I get all the start cards from the offer. And that's a handful of cards, which gives me a big bunch of power for the next turn. Now, this also hands an advantage to the next player because they're going to see all kind of interesting stuff in the offer. If they're going to do research, you know, all those start cards are cleared out. They have a lot more pick and choose capability. Okay. What are we trying to do with green? Well, gosh. So we have a spaceport. And a spaceport gives us 2 extra move, which is kind of cool. We could use that big move over there. So we can almost certainly get to Mars. That sounds appealing. Yeah, that's appealing too, but let's leave that alone for now. So, and so far we haven't seen anybody ship their guys out here, which is, I believe, not allowed. I believe you're only able to transport to other people's, to your own. You must begin with one of your bases. You must end at one of your bases, and one of the 2 has to be spaceport. So he's the only one who can ship forces out there more quickly. Other people can land here through normal movement, yeah, right, and then get an additional boost to their movement. But that almost never happens. That. Okay. So how do I get to Mars? Because I think that's what I want to do. It's going to cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to get to Mars. 6, huh? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can get to Mars no matter what. I can't produce here. Do I really want to be the second Martian base? Is there a great advantage to this as compared to this? This is cheaper to get to. How about I go here instead? And it's cheaper to build at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. That'll only cost me 3. Don't need to explore. So 2, 3, 4, 5 would get me there. I do need my build cards because build looks expensive. And we'll sail one of our guys, start cards, out to Deimos. Not necessarily the best thing. Would I rather explore? You know what? I would actually rather go to Phobos and get the exploration because there's points for exploration. And this is not that appealing. What does water give me? Water gives me the ability to do an industrial site. That's pretty much it. Later on it becomes very important because it's required for shield factories. And did we get down to 4 cards? Yeah. So we get a freebie. And another time card. And these fill out. That should have happened earlier. Yes, you can pick up time cards from there. Okay, interesting stuff out here. Interesting stuff. Maybe it's time to do research. Alright. What's purple up to? Well, purple's not gaining a whole lot right now. I have this research card in my hand. Grab a whole bunch more research. But on the other side, I've got this. At the start of an opponent's turn, I can take a card from the offer, so I can exchange this for a good card out there. I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to play a research card in conjunction with that other research card. Give myself 4 research. What am I going to take? Well, I don't know. I want this because it gives me the best choice out of the pile. This looks like a good card. Time cards are a good card. Do I want this or do I want to draw? Let's take a random draw. And that is my turn. I do not get a card, but this fills out. And now I have to pay attention to what I just put out there, which is... This only works on an opponent's card. If somebody throws a big handful of cards, that's the time to play that. But this one, is there a card from the offers that I really want? And I can wait if there's not. I don't see anything devastatingly interesting to me. So we're going to keep pushing on. And we go to blue. Blue's got a lot of build capability, and they're set up to build something. They're sitting here on this exotic elements. They need to build 4. That's exactly what they have in hand. Now, I could upgrade some infrastructure. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to build myself a base, and the only problem is I'm throwing my production card away. I would like to keep that. Is it worth keeping enough that I give somebody else a card? Nah, I might draw one. What I want there is something that's capable of producing, which means a refinery, which increases its production value. So I'll put a refinery up there, and that'll get me 2 victory points whenever I produce. And none of these are starts, I assume. I'm below 4. I did not get what I wanted. Oh well. Yeller. Okay, Yeller's over on Mars. We're in a position where we could just move to the other Mars. Now, the other way would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just a little cheaper to get to Mars from there. And it's about the same as getting to Mars from one of these. Not necessarily a big bonus. What else are we sitting on? Well, first production's already been done. Let's just take a look at these non-Lagrange bases. We're not close to getting multiple bases. Genetics, we would like to get our genetics up. That's worth a victory point. Infrastructure slots, we could build some infrastructure. That would get us some victory points if we replace that move infrastructure, but we don't have it sitting there right now. Bases in 4 regions, that's going to be pretty hard. So what are we looking to do? Well, I think we will move. We might research, but again, we get boned because we get 2 cards and we don't get our extra draw if we do that. So we're going to move our dude over here. We got a total of 3 movement. That's all we need. We get a new card. The deck is running out, so we're almost at the end of the era. Well, not really, because people have hands full of cards that they can play. All right. It's important to get your cards played before the era ends. If you're holding on to things like time cards or something like that, you really want to make sure you get them out there and get your advantage off them, basically. So what is green doing? Well, green has exploration capability. It's very, very easy. Unfortunately, that doesn't use a card. That sucks. I could do some sort of operation with 2 teams, but it's the same operation. Not very helpful. I could set myself up for a 2-team exploration, Well, for a two-team build, if I go there, or a two-team exploration and then a two-team build, let's think about that for a moment. So, what is it going to cost me to move here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 3 movement. I could give a card to somebody who's not doing terribly well. I think yellow's doing very well. I don't think purple's doing all that well. They look like they're kind of shitty. They have a big handful of cards, though. All the more reason, I'm not sure I mind giving them more cards. They may not be able to use all their cards by the end of the game. So I think what I'm going to do, let me make sure I've got this right. I'm coming from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I only need 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I only need 1 of these. Okay. I don't actually need to help anyone, so I'm going to sail out here to Sisyphus. And that is going to be my move. I get my free draw. And I'm kind of spreading out and getting close to that bases in 4 regions. Unfortunately, I'm also getting close to 3 non-Lagrange bases, but yeah, there's other people who are playing in that world. Okay. He didn't throw a lot of cards. I haven't really been watching, but I don't think anybody's dumped a big load of cards yet. At the start, I could take a card from the offer. I don't know about that. Okay. So, purple. What could purple do? I'm going to need to take a moment to think because he's got a lot of capability right now. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using a time card so I can move 2 different teams. Again, I got this huge pile of cards. I need a 5 movement because some of my guys are on Earth. Let's see what that's going to mean. I have 3. This is a good card for this era, but it's what I have to expend, and I'm going to use the time card to double that. Well, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to a Lagrange point, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Spend 1 more and I can get to Deimos, but I'm going to go for cheap builds in these. Basically what I'm looking at is the possibility of getting the 4 zones and the 3 Lagrange points and just try to, grab a lot of victory points that way. Unfortunately, I have too many cards right now. I could have spent more, not even using them, to draw for another card, but I need this build card. I'm not allowed to spend non-move cards. So there we go. By the way, there's some information down here. That's for the solitaire game. That's to run the mechanism for the solitaire game. So I don't get a card at the beginning of my turn. Let's go back to blue. Blue has a very low hand, and there aren't a lot of cards left here in the game deck. I'm not going to be getting many free draws. The game's going to change a little bit once we enter into that final stage for the era, because people can't use each other's capabilities in the same way. So I got to make sure that I do what I want to do, whatever that is. And what is that? That's a good question. I don't have a lot of ability to build things that I'd want to build. I don't have a production card. A research might be neat. Do I want to drop... Well... Yeah, research at this time would let me grab a couple of cards that would be useful. My movement capability is quite high. I could just do movement without any worries. Get that last card, and then where other people are worried about using their hands, I might be worried about grabbing some research. Or I could trigger the end and maybe not even get another turn. I think I'm going to research. I've got plenty of movement. How many of these have been used? 4 of them. I think there's 8 in the game. I think there's a good chance that that card is a time card. I know I've used one of these as my own home one, and I can kind of get a feel for what's out there, but it feels like there's a good chance of that. So I am going to do a research action. I'm going to draw this card, and I got lucky. It's a time card. Okay, what that means is that I could do like a double move next time with the time card or something like that. Lagrange points, not going to be able to get to those easily. Is there some there's no infrastructure I can build up? There's a produce card. That's victory points. I'm going to grab the produce card. We have entered the end of an era. Conditions. The draw pile has been emptied. Whenever players start passing, once 2 of them pass, each other player gets 1 turn. That could just start happening right away. I look at the deck, the hand sizes, and I know that's not going to happen. Okay. So we take a look at yellow. Yellow's in a position where they wanted to build themselves something there, and they don't have a time card or anything. What's my build cost? My build cost is 6. This is going to be my last build of the game, of this era probably, unless I do a research. I have to spend everything, because even though I have a capacity there, it's not very good. But you know what? This gets me close to the end of being able to pass. I've just used up my cards. What am I building here on Mars? That's a good question. Another bio would be cool, but I can't. Mars gives me the bonus of the industrial, which I actually was not able to build here. I was thinking about that before. It can't be done. Oh shit. I don't have to spend all that. Hold on. There's a base -1 on there, which means I only have to spend 5. I get to keep something. I will keep the produce card. That's easy enough. Okay. So the biolab's going to have a produce of 1. This does not have produce. I don't know what I could do with it that's useful. Industrial doesn't really do me much. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a research lab, which gives me a revelation marker increase. Right? Same thing the biolab does, except with the other type. I think it's the best I can do. So we'll build this. And let me make sure I'm doing this right. I want to basically what I want to make sure is that cube. They don't tell me what the fuck things are. So breakthrough or adaptation. Here they call it the genetics marker. Here they don't tell you what they are. The revelation is the black cube. Okay, so this moves forward. It's not optimal, but it does help me get to where I wanted to go. Notably, I'm not going to be able to get out to the asteroid belt. I don't have the well, maybe with research or something, but I don't have the movement capability to get out there. It's not in my current plans. Okay. Did I do that right? No, I cheated. I get a card. I do not get that. That's if it's Starfare. I get a card from the thingy. So I could take a card. I could take that research genetics card and get my genetics up to 2, which would get me victory points. Let's do that. Okay. Sorry. Bumbling about here. All right, on to green. Green, what are our goals? Doesn't look like we have a hell of a lot. We can get 2 explores done. We only need an explorer of 1. We have that. We'll play a time card, and we will do that twice. First one up at Phobos, Abundant Ores, and the second one is down here at Sisyphus, where we find a natural wonder. The natural wonder gets us 2 victory points. Nice find. Normally I don't really like finding them, but it feels like the era's coming to an end. It's time to pocket some victory points. And that works out well. Okay, for purple. Purple wants a double build. They may not be able to make it to the end of where they can get their victory points that they're hoping to get. They really hope they can, but they only have 1 time card here. However, this is what they set up for. I don't have the build capability to do a double build. This sucks. What other things can I aim for? Because I've got a handful of stuff here. Well, I could have done some things. I forgot about my edge cards. What did he just do? I don't remember. He discarded he discarded a time card. A time card would help us a lot. We are going to take that time card. That is what we want. Why do we need the time card? Yeah, good question. Fuck, we don't have the movement. That's the problem. Okay, we have to play this as well to take a build card from here. Now, we play the time and the build card to do 2 build 2s. That gets us those 2. We're going to put spaceports down on both to increase our movement capacity, just to be able to take advantage of whatever the next move is. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to get everything we want, but we may be able to build the 3rd Lagrange. Oh, that's all we need. We need the 3rd Lagrange, and we get 2 victory two victory conditions up there. So that's pretty sweet, actually. Okay. Whew. Now, cutting around to blue. Blue's getting close to the end. Everybody is. What do we want to do? Well, I think we were going to do a produce. We could do 2 produces and really crank the victory points out. What else could we do? We have a lot of movement. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Time card. We don't need that. 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. We sail out here, we take the first beyond. Big advantage for the next era. Let's grab it. Okay. And there's nothing on there for it. Over here. Okay. I want the infrastructure, I want the production. Where are we? Let's do the genetics first, because somebody can steal that from us. They probably can't steal the production. That got us to slot 2, which gets us 2 victory points for yellow. Surging ahead. Fairly big hand left. This guy has no. I don't know why I have. Face up. Green. Okay. Second beyond is still available, but we got bases to build. We got 2 bases to build. Our build capacity that we need for bases is a 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. we do a research. We're probably not going to get everything we want done. Okay. Just by the number of cards that are here. What's purple up to? Purple needs to get their asses onto 2 more Lagrange spaces and be able to build them. Well, the movement is easy. The build is not so easy. For the build, we need this doubling card. Everything's wiped out. So, we got to make our choices. Damn it. I mean, we got tons of fucking movement. We'll do that, and that's it. And hope that people give us the time to get the points that we want. At the very least, if a pass happens this time, we can build this and get one of the contracts. Blue. Blue made it out to the beyond. That's a bad sign. That means they're almost done if they're throwing a team away. What is blue looking towards? Well, Deimos isn't taken yet. But we have this production that we wanted to do. We could do that twice. We do that, we're not doing shit anymore. Is there anything more we'd want to do? That's really the question. I mean, we could get out to Deimos, I'm sure, with 5. Can't spend that. We don't have enough build to build on Deimos. I would say we're done. We're going to do 2 production. This is a refinery, so it's production 2, so we grab ourselves 4 victory points. And set ourselves up to start passing very shortly. Yellow, only 1 card left. What do we got? We have a production. We have not enough movement, do we? Oh, we got enough movement to get out there. Screw that, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, fuck. We don't have enough. Oh, yeah, we do. 3? No. We have 3 movement. That's it. I thought I had another move kicking around somewhere. Yeah, we also will set ourselves up for a pass. We will play our production. And our best production looks like it's a 1. Take a victory point. Green. Green, tons of stuff. What the fuck was green going to do? Green wanted to do 2 builds. It's not optimal, but whatever. Okay. So, my build cost is 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to play these cards and a time card. And I should leave these out in case somebody wanted to steal them. I am going to be building on Sisyphus. Now, Sisyphus is a natural wonder. That makes an attraction useful because it gives it a production. However, do I have a production? I have a production 0 here, which means I could put a refinery there, which gives it a production +1, and puts that up to a 1. I only have a produce 1 in hand, so a produce of 1 here is not very helpful. So instead of making that a tourist attraction, I am going to... Well, research doesn't fucking help me. I don't know. I can't play an exploiter. I don't have a biolab available. Can't build a spaceport. Yeah, okay. I'll put my attraction down. I'm not actually getting anything off of this. This is what sucks. I have to get into a 4th area to build something, to get victory points. So this is actually probably a pretty dumb move to spend all these cards to build this stuff. Because beyond the first build, getting 1 thing built that does production is 1 thing. Getting 2 that get production 1, that's not helping me, but whatever. I don't know what I was thinking. Probably not much. On to purple. Purple has... What the hell did I do? Oh, I'm doing another move to get to another Lagrange point so I can get all the benefits, right? So I do a move. That actually doesn't cost me any cards, so that's sweet. Or something. And then we're back over here. I'm going to drop the die there. And at the very least, swap out batteries. What does blue have left? Blue can't go and grab this second beyond, by the way. They can't send another team there. If I understand correctly. Well, let me just make sure. Because they might actually have the movement to get out there. And it would be probably the best they could do. Shit. Let me look. The first player to move a team gets it next to their headquarters. The player who controls the second team that moves to this site. Now, I'm not seeing something... This doesn't tell me whether one person can do it twice. The move rules is what I'm looking under. I haven't found anything that actually distinguishes it. Here, oh, let's see. I might be able to do that. I had assumed you couldn't be in both. But there's an advantage to each one. Other choices, what else could I possibly do? I could build a Lagrange point. Would that get me anything? No. So about the only thing that can happen is this. How far can I go? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fuck. Not good enough. Wait, let me count again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Not good enough. I don't think there's anything I can build that can do me any good. Like, what if I build a Lagrange point? What does it do for me? It does not get me any contracts or anything. I think blue is going to pass. So that sets the timer. Everybody gets one more. No. They're only one person to pass. Haha. However, yellow has no cards, which is a pretty good sign that they probably are going to pass. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have movement of 3 from there. Certainly not able to get anywhere else. I have a movement of 4, which could get me somewhere, but I don't see any victory points there. They also are passing, so now we're on the top clock. Each player gets one more turn. Can green do what they want to do in one turn? Well, I don't know. What do they want to do? They probably want it to produce. Three movement from here. They could get that second beyond, or they could produce. Wow. Production's only worth 1 victory point to them. I'm going to take the second beyond. 1, 2, 3. And then we get to purple, who must do their grand coup here, which is crap. They have a build 1 and a build 2. But they don't need this one. I don't know why I moved there. So I spend the time card to give myself a build 2. I build something there. I'll put another spaceport. I mean, I can't build anything that does me any good. Okay. So, I have just created 3 Lagrange points, which is worth 3 for purple. And I have bases in 4 regions, which gives me 2. Let me make sure nobody got any of the others. Nobody got the 3 infra slots. Nobody got 3 non-Lagrange bases, I don't think. That's a tough one to get. Green has 2. Yellow has 2. Yeah. So now we're at the end of the era. And now we follow a very procedural little package to get us through that. Each player gets to choose one discovery tile that they have on the board to add to their thing. So let's look at blue first. They've got this, which has a production of 2, so they will take that. Yellow has a single one with a production of 1 over here, and it keeps its base, right? Yeah, which actually limits the number of biolabs I can build as long as that's out there. But green, green has a production of 1 off this, and purple has a production of 1. So everybody got away with some production. It doesn't always happen. Cards. All the time cards in the current era are set aside. Already done. The action cards played as info remain on the headquarters, but all the cards elsewhere are going to come out of the game. Opportunities lost. Playing pieces. All the playing pieces leave the board. We're going to clean the board up, and this stays as is. We swap boards. There'll be a sideboard on the back of this, and then we set up the Planeteers era. And I'll get to that in a moment.